Hey, good morning to everybody that's going to be joining me today on the stream. I wanted to get this conversation going this morning because I broke one of my rules yesterday. I entered into one of these panels. And the reason why I entered into one of these panels, because one of the brothers out on one of these panels last night, I came through with the Team Fatty panel last night. And one of the reasons why I happened to run across that stream, and one of the reasons why I came through that on that panel was because I saw one of the brothers on that panel. He was really trying to make two strange parallels between the realities of today's modern women and the realities of the young men out here today, which with the comparisons basically two different genders, two different realities, not factoring social media and what has happened in the dating and relationship market overall for both men and women, and the mindsets and the mentality that exists in the current dating and relationship market. And I think sometimes it's unfair that individuals project a certain reality that's based on their lived experience when they have a certain either biological advantage, financial advantage, or an advantage of being a certain mindset and mentality of a certain archetype that is attractive in a certain environment. That may not also always be the positive situation. Some of that shit is negative. Because just because you have more access to women, it doesn't mean that you're winning in the game of dating and relationships or in life in general. Because you can have a biological advantage or strategic advantage or financial advantage. But at the end of the day, you're still consuming that which has been used. Some more highly used, some less highly used. Because the reality is the sexual liberation, the birth control pill, feminism, the internet, social media has changed everything. And what happens a lot of times is people are out of touch with the average everyday experiences of other men. And some men in general just lack empathy for other men. And they equate their ability to acquire sexual access from women as some type of trophy to be worn on their chest, when the reality is they're just better at picking out of the bottom of this pit of the trash can. I give you an example. I'm a guy that's 6'7" 6'8" tall. Maybe my reality with today's modern women is that I have longer arms and I can dig further down the trash can to pick that better. If my arms are longer than yours because I'm 6'7" and 6'8", and I can reach further down the dumpster, maybe the sun hits those burgers at the top of the trash can, but my arm is long enough to reach. Maybe I reach a burger down at the bottom that's halfway licked or halfway bitten, and and the raccoons can't get to it, the squirrels and all the other animals can't get to it, and I just got one that's partially licked. I'm still a dumpster diver. And in the reality of life, we're both all failing because the fact of the matter is we're still eating out the trash can. Whether you're 6'8", 6'6", 5'11", 5'4", 4'11", 3'2", 5'8", whatever, you're still eating out of the same used trash can. So you're no better than no other man out here on the dating and relationship market, because sexual liberation and feminism basically destroyed the dating market for 90% of the men that are out here. And maybe those guys that are lucky enough to hit the winning lottery when they were young and got themselves a nice, feminine, virtuous woman when they were young, congratulations. But the majority of men out here are scrapsexuals. I don't care whether you're 6'8", 6'5", 6'4", 6'2", 5'11", 5'4", whether you're rich or poor. You ain't no better than no other man. You're just another scrapsexual. So when I saw the brother go talking all this stuff about what the average man can get, The average man, salute to you, my brother, the average man dealing with the average woman today that is addicted to the most dangerous drug, I think, in the world right now, which is attention, social media attention and validation. Yeah, like, come on, man. They see, there's dudes that, okay, they say, well, peaceful life. You're a guy that's, 6'7", 6'8", and you have all these things, but I'm still digging out the same trash can as you are. The difference is my arm is longer than your arm, so I can reach further down the trash can. How am I winning or how are you winning? We're both taking L's. You know what I'm saying, Red Pill Science? If my arm can reach further down the trash can, we're missing the fact that we're both eating out the trash can. That's what men are missing. We're both dumpster divers. Just because I'm 6'7", 6'8", and my arms is longer than yours, and maybe the burger that I got 4 bites on it instead of 3 bites. Or maybe, I'm sorry, maybe the burger I got maybe 1 bite, and the burger you got 5 bites on it. We're still eating. We're still eating garbage. How is this winning? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out from the brothers. How is any of this shit winning? Now, I brought this clip up with good Dr. Cheyenne Bryant to give you an example. In her mind, she thinks she's a great woman. But a woman is 43 years old. 42 years old. Could you imagine how much pounding that woman has experienced over the last 2+ decades? She's been vigorously and viciously pounded out. You imagine how many dudes have basically plowed this woman, went sack deep into this woman? And she's out here because she doesn't, I don't have any baby now. Well, how many babies have you deleted? I'm sure she's had pregnancies and deletions and all kinds of shit going on. What's up, man? Hey, appreciate your support, man. Hey, I appreciate your support. But I'm saying, where are these victories out here? Dudes are celebrating their ability to eat better trash. This is some losers type shit. That's why I don't put women in my videos. What am I going to celebrate? Oh, peaceful life. He's a better trash can dater than me. Look at him. Big, tall, 6'7" trash can digger. We're eating out the trash. That's what people don't get. It vexes me. Because I see them come out here shaming the brother. Imagine me. I'm 6'7", 6'8". I'm going to shame a brother that's 5'4". Because his arm can only reach the shorter part of the top part of the trash can, and my arm can reach the longer part of the trash can. Could you imagine that shit? And when I see dudes come on these panels, virtue signaling and shaming other men, calling them incels and calling them whatever. Man, come on. Ain't nobody out here getting anything that's prime real estate. It's bullshit. I want you to listen to this ran through, pounded out woman having conversation with men. Hey, you guys, hit the like button, man, and you want to support the channel. Listen to this bullshit. Listen to this woman.
The man who I'd want to get would be the man that I probably wouldn't want, because the man I would want to get would be a family man and safe. And he may come off kind of boring to other women, but to me, he would be safe and loving and a family man, and he would be my boring and my man. But the man who I find attractive, this big old hunk of a chocolate type of man, he's not. He's a man that I would want if I was into if me be blunt. If I was into casual sex, I want him. I want him to fly me out. I want to do some things with him. I'm gonna do some things that he could never imagine. I'm gonna turn him in and turn him out.
The secret that many guys don't know, especially in today's day and age, is that women love nice guys. We may not we love and appreciate them until we're a little older. and we've gotten that sort of asshole phase out of our systems. I'd say by our late 20s, early 30s is the point in our lives when we're just exhausted by the jerks and we have no time in our lives anymore for them. So we really start looking for men who we know will be great long-term partners, aka nice guys, right? And that's you. And that's you.
Women actually start to get serious about settling down. They often don't target attractive men. This is because attractive men are too hard to wrangle. They enjoy too much optionality, and they either are not willing to pay the costs associated with entering into a quiet domestic life, and or the particular woman proposing said life does not represent a sufficiently attractive option for them. So when women are really serious about getting married, they often target less attractive men because boy, oh boy, are they easy pickings.
That one more time?
I said, I am trying to have my first child with you, and I promise you we can get married first, then we can have a child, and I'll treat you right.
Oh, okay.
So do we got a deal or not?
We'll see.
I don't want to live with my husband. I want him to live like down the hall.
Yeah, same.
And like sleep in separate rooms?
Go
Mhm.
away.
I would turn
No,
I would
that's
turn
1950.
that side of the house into a dual master. So knock down that wall between those. That's your side. That's my side. You can come stay with me whenever. I can come stay with you, whatever. But we have separate spaces, separate bathrooms, separate.
Throughout the day, I'm trying to read a
Not
book.
necessary.
I'm trying to drink. I'm trying to do the things that I do. I want to play and make up. I don't have time for you coming around here
Yeah, just
talking.
being
Shut
around.
the fuck
Yeah.
up.
How is it that a married woman can cut off sex with her husband, the father of their children, and then enter into an affair with a married man?
You know, and again, we're dealing with this situation. It's very easy that she can do that because she married the 4th place finisher, or maybe even the 10th place finisher. That's why she's been out here enjoying sexual liberation. She's not really attracted. And you said it right. You know, XL Pro, you said old side chick giving relationship advice. Dr. Cheyenne Ryan is a chicken head. I don't care what her education is. Ebony K. Williams is a chicken head. The problem is that men's self-esteem is so low, they can't identify a chicken head from a mile away because these women are sophisticated and educated. I'm sophisticated and educated. What does that mean? You have a degree that makes you less of a chicken head? You're still a chicken head. Your actions and behaviors are chicken heads. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The problem is this, okay? Back in the 90s, before social media, before we had this bullshit in our hands here, this goofy shit, back in the 90s, there was a clear separation. What's up, brother? Welcome on board. Hey, salute to you, Tim Fatty, man. Hey, I appreciate you having me last night, man. I just had to address that, the master, whatever, that bullshit. But the guys, I'll get that. Most dudes today is scrapsexual, my brother. Salute to you, man. Yeah, you know, yeah, it's like they got all these women out here. Listen to that shit. These guys are look, and you know, Fatty, when the brother said he was 6'6", I came in there, I'm 6'8". And the only difference between guys like us and the average men is because my arm is longer and I can reach the bottom of the trash can. That's it. My arm is long as shit and I can reach the bottom of the trash can. Maybe I found a burger that only was bitten once. And the other dude is 5'5" and he only get the shit on top what the squirrels play with. I just have more access to more used burgers or licked burgers than he does. That's all I got. Because you know what I'm saying? That's the only difference between me and the regular man is I can reach the bottom of the trash can. You know what I'm saying, brother? So I get these dudes coming virtue signaling. That pissed me off. Because they're in their mind, they think they're winning. Listen to a guy like Umar, right? Omar is now complaining on social media about how stink these women's boxes are. He's talking about how filthy these women's boxes are. When these guys come talking about all these women they're getting, when they talk about all these women they're getting, if you look at the women they're having sex with, you would want to vomit. Look at Omar. He's bashing women about having filth smelling like fish market. These dudes ain't getting nothing good. They're lying. They're lying. The only difference between a guy like me who's 6'7" and a guy that's 5'7" is that I can reach the bottom of the trash can. We're still eating trash. That's what these guys don't stop it. Sexual liberation and social media changed everything. Stop lying to ourselves. And even worse, if you get these rebranded 304s, because they're all in the church now. They've found Jesus. They've revirginated themselves. And you know, it's crazy, man. It pisses me off. Exactly. You're still consuming used box. Who's winning out here? What? Because I'm 6'7", 6'8", I'm older, maybe I got money, maybe I'm retired early. But I'm just a scrapsexual. I've accepted my fate that I'm a scrapsexual. We're all scrapsexuals. Some of us just have longer arms than others, and we can reach the bottom of the trash can. That's all. Because that's what happened with sexual liberation. Feminism and sexual liberation, social media jacked up I mean, unless you were part of the 10% that maybe got some virtuous woman while you were young or whatever, and they shame these young brothers. It's terrible. Listen to this nonsense that she's putting out here in the environment. Isn't this bullshit?
The man who I'd want to get would be the man that I probably wouldn't want, because the man I would want to get would be a family man and safe. And he may come off kind of boring to other women, but to me, he would be safe and loving and a family man, and he would be my boring and my man. But the man who I find attractive, this big old hunk of a chocolate type of man, he's not. He's a man that I would want if I was into if me be blunt. If I was into casual sex, I want him. I want him to fly me out. I want to do some things with him. I'm gonna do some things that he could never imagine. I'm gonna turn him in and turn him out.
The secret that many guys
So
don't know.
what I'm trying to show you is like the fact of the matter is that all of these men, the two levels for women, giving a man access to your body and marriage. Access to your body, marriage, and a child. Those are the three levels a woman has. So regardless of the guy who comes at the end or the guy who comes at the beginning, one fact is certain: all of these men are sharing the same vagina. They have all smashed. Who's winning at the end of this rainbow? So if you give your body to a dude who didn't marry you, and then you leverage your body and gave it to a guy who came later and married you, what exactly is that guy who married you getting? I think he's getting a raw deal. Because he's getting the leftovers of another man. Where are the winners here? I think the guy maybe at the beginning is the winner. Who's the champion? You see the problem with sexual liberation? Where are the winners? Ain't none. I mean, it's just what it is, man. I've been trying to tell these fools they're shopping at the yeah, exactly. We're shopping at the used car store. Who among let he who's not a scrapsexual cast the first stone. Let he among us who's not a scrapsexual cast the first stone. We're all scrapsexuals. Sexual liberation and feminism and social media ruined it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing like having these paddles where I do like investigations on dudes, proving that they're scrapsexuals. Married, single, it don't matter. Because what they don't forget is that even these educated women, when they go to college and they get in these fraternities, I was there in college. This is why guys like me are necessary in this space. I used to be an athlete back in the day. And let me tell you something. The amount of pounding that goes on in them dormitories with these fraternities, women pledging, not all women, but you sitting down, you see her now, she's wearing her office dress. She's going to work. She's working in her cubicle. She goes to church twice a week. You don't know what happened in them dorms. You don't know what happened in those fraternities. That imprint is still there. She remembers that pounding. Now she's dating regular dude working at the post office, and he bores the crap out of her. And she's scrolling on the internet, thirsting for a taste of that savage that folded her up in college. And you expect, how the hell is she going to be married to the average man? But let's get into the content and what drove me to this, to go on a panel, because I get tired of them bashing the average everyday man. I get tired of it. But let's continue on. Let's move on. Because people tell bullshit, lies. Where is it? Team Fatty, my brother here. So, let's go. So let me share the screen, and we're going to get there we go. Now, here they had an all-star panel last night. You had Andrew Wilson, you had Angry Man, you had Tommy Sotomayor, you had Jess Pearly Things. And one of the things we noticed is one of the brothers, we have one of the brothers down here. I guess he would be the further corner. Wait, let me blow up the screen. The master teacher. And he's going to try and make an argument and make a parallel between average men and average women, as if these optionality, the average woman thinks she's average. First of all, the average woman thinks she's 10 times better than the average man. She thinks she's 10 times better than the average man. This is a 6'6" brother that has been raised in a certain environment that's probably have women, and that because he has a certain characteristic and archetype in the community. I'm aware of that. I'm a 6'7", 6'8" brother. You're going to have access to a certain amount of women, and your lived experience is going to be different than the average man. That doesn't mean you're eating any better. You just have longer arms and you can reach at the bottom of the trash can. The other guy may only can reach at the top. Either way, we're both trash can eaters. The point I'm trying to make is this. Now, he's going to project this onto the average brother, which I think was unfair, which is why I came to the podcast. Because what happens is you need people like me in these spaces, because we can give the problem is we have what many men have a lack of empathy towards other men. And they only project from their lived experience. You see, I can understand and remove myself from my body and get into the mind of an average man and the mind of the women. So I can see the world I tried my best. I've learned this, to see the world from somebody else's perspective, not just from my lived experience. And what happened to men is they generally don't care about other men. And he who feels it knows it. And that's why it's necessary for people like me to be in these spaces, because we could kind of call the bullshit out. You can call the bullshit out. So let's continue on. Because what are they going to argue against me? You're going to argue against me? You're not going to out alpha me with that bull. I'm not even to that. I'm the masculine shit. You're not going to outdo that. You're alpha me, whatever. I'm not even to that alpha, whatever. I deal with masculinity. You start talking that alpha bullshit. That don't mean damn thing in 2025. Let's move on. But guys coming here talking this nonsense. Like we don't know what's going on around me. What it is really, you have a guy that's getting copious amounts of box, and then he wants to virtue signal and shame the other men. How come y'all are not getting all these? But they don't tell you what kind of box they're getting. Most of it is bottom of the barrel shit. Let's continue on. Salute to Team Fatty. I appreciate you guys having me on for a few.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's options means that you have something in abundance. If you are taking scraps from the market, you don't have no options. You get the leftovers. Like, you see what I'm saying? Options is I can go to McDonald's, I can go to Burger King, I can go here and there. Leftovers meaning you are there after people put shit in the trash. Please, sir, can I get your
Yeah,
tray?
yeah, but
the
the challenge is the entire menu is leftovers.
Yeah,
Because it's like one,
yeah.
one order is like a single mother, but she's hot. Another one is a young woman, no kids with an OnlyFans.
No, but Pearl, for her to
yeah,
be a single
yeah.
mother, somebody had to fuck her, right? That dude.
Yeah,
had
that's true.
options. The
Yeah,
guy
but
that
you're
put-
fucking behind him, though.
No, but there's the point. The guy that put, I agree with you. I don't think the average man has options because once again, the average woman thinks she's above the average man. The average woman fucks a guy that is an 8 or a 9 or has money or has a nice car or has a mansion. She goes and thinks, now that I fuck Tommy, an angry man, and they'll be very nice houses, I don't fuck guys in apartments. That's what it is. So
Hold on.
No,
think
women will fuck broke men until they're dead. Don't
Well, hold on.
worry.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
The
I gotta
bartenders,
answer.
the
As long as they look
promoters.
good.
Yeah,
I gotta answer.
yeah.
I gotta change that for you a little bit. First off, you need to understand what the word option means. Like right now, when you said you got options between McDonald's and going to all these different places, well, somebody with more money than you has those options, but would never take those options. Probably would rather buy that place where you went to eat at than they would go to eat at it. So when we say, but you still have options, you just might not have this other person's options. When you say the word options, everybody has options. That's why when I said slavery was a choice, it might not have been a good option or one you like, but it still was an option. You had an option to say, screw it.
So
Everybody has options. So then you have to start measuring, when do you decide that's a good option? Like for me, I don't date women with kids. I don't have to though.
if your choice is the building on fire or the house on fire or the skyscraper on fire, there's still options, but this person is going to die. Like we have to be
That's all I'm telling you. Hold on. But then you're saying there's no the guy who can only date girls who are 6s and the other guy who can only date girls who are 3s. They both still have options. And as a matter of fact, the guy who can only date women with 3s and the guy who can date women who are 6s to 10s, he doesn't want to go down. So the guy on the bottom, he don't mind going up. So he probably has more options. That's why you have somebody like Lil Wayne, who if he didn't have money, probably wouldn't be able to sleep with a 10. But once he got money, he went up. Guys who have money and they lose it, they don't usually want to go down, which is why in 29 you had so much suicide because they didn't want to go down. But broke men didn't kill themselves because they were already used to living that way.
Yeah, but there's semantics, right? For example, when we talk about leaders, we talk about good leaders. We don't talk about bad leaders. We don't say these are like we talk about good. No. Tommy, if we are going to talk about,
so we're going to get to the brother, this brother over here. What's his name? The master teacher. The master teacher. Salute to that brother. What is basically the master teacher, no disrespect to the brother, is the Pookie teacher. He's the Pookie teacher. No disrespect to the brother. He's the Pookie teacher. We have a lot of these guys that are in the community that have access to all these women that are just running through those women. But it's the Pookie teacher. That's pretty much what it is. But let's continue on. In his mind, he assumes that this smorgasbord is available for all the men in that community. But it's not. If you look at who are having babies, these women are all having babies with, look at the T app. Look at the percentage of men that are impregnating these women. You know, and we got so many of these pookie teachers on the internet today. It's disturbing. Let's continue on. Let me get into the conversation.
See what is working and how more people can apply that.
Well, because there's certain periods of women's lives where they do want something long term. So the long term that you see generally is for like certain periods of women's lives. So it's like between, say, like 25 and like 45, but usually.
7 years. Ilcon,
Well,
talk about that.
where-
You basically had the same values. You basically had you were compatible with each other, right?
Let me get to the point.
Nowadays, dudes are meeting chicks from you in Atlanta, but you met a chick online that's from New York, and now y'all
Salute
trying to get
angry
together, and y'all have completely different views on the world. In addition to all of this feminist shit, in addition to all of this new age gynocentric crap that you have to deal with, so it's different.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? You said you have some good women you're dating now.
I'm married, but I got other chicks. You know what I'm saying? I'm honest.
Oh,
with
so like
yeah.
you're you have like side chicks
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah.
younger. So how old are they?
Well, I mean, a couple of them in their 20s, 28, 29.
And they know your situation?
Yeah, I don't lie to women. I'm 6'6" and handsome. Do you think I need to lie to women? That's the point I'm making.
Okay, but like if they're that good of women, why are they agreeing to be a side chick? You know what I mean?
Because
you know what I mean? Because this isn't.
I'm gonna ask
And
you.
this isn't a dig, but I'm just.
No.
my
I
point is-
asked because they like me. They like me. The
Okay,
same got good women
well,
though. is what she's
so my
saying.
second,
Yeah.
my second question is, how long have you been seeing them?
One of them like 2 years. One of them like a year.
Y'all ask bad questions. What makes them good women? What makes them good women? He used the word good women. What is it about them that makes them good women? Why do y'all never want to know context?
Well,
I guess that's
Well,
like
I was gonna get to. Hold on, go ahead.
Okay, well,
How often do you see them?
when I want to.
Like once
I'm
a week, once a month? Because
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them, but so often. I see them maybe
Okay.
once a month, like when I want to see
Okay,
them.
so you don't even know what they're doing. Like they're probably screwing other guys too.
I don't care about
Like
that.
I understand you don't care, but like most
Yeah.
men wouldn't consider women to be good if they're having sex with multiple men
Well,
at the same time.
let
Which
me
if you're
explain
seeing them once a month, they probably are.
Let me
you know.
explain something to you.
Go ahead.
In
But
other
Tom,
cultures-
and then if you wanted to answer Tommy's question too, but that was my
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. In other cultures, there are such things as sister wives. Women share men in other cultures, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna say these women are bad women because they share men? My point
No,
is,
I
there's
would just
several
say
men.
no, but I'm saying it's improbable
No,
that you are
bruh.
seeing them once a month and they're only seeing
Right.
you. Like that's just not likely.
No,
There's no
wait, wait,
22-year-old girl that's just sleeping with you. You don't buy her a house. She don't live in the
Yeah,
house.
come on.
And you
Come
don't.
on.
This is
She's got a
happening,
sugar
sir.
daddy. She's
What
got,
I'm-
just
wait,
because you
wait,
haven't,
wait.
just because you haven't found out.
Slide with that. Wait a minute. We
What
can't
I'm trying to say
wait,
is,
wait, bro.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. You said sister wives. Those are numerous women that are literally with one guy.
Yes.
With one guy. It's not numerous women that are with one guy and then on the side they messing with other dudes. That's not the same thing.
and I have also lived in a house, married 18 years, with an additional sister wife before. I've did that for 7 years. Ilcon,
We talk about that. We talk about them hoes you just talked about. Them hoes you were talking about. You were talking about these hoes, these young hoes that you just fuck every now and again. You didn't say they were wives.
And listen at the point I'm making, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. This is the overall arcing point. Men, for some reason, think that they should have what they can't get. Listen to what I'm saying. If you can only get threes as your options, then be with a three, and you won't get hurt, and you won't have nothing to complain about.
Which is not true.
That is bullshit. I try to avoid these panels, folks. That is the most bullshit. In 2025, with this thing called social media, a 3 thinks that she is a 10. Social media put delusion on steroids. A 3 thinks that she's a 10. A chicken head thinks that she's a wife. A 3 thinks she's a 10. A chicken head thinks that she's a wife in 2025. Let's continue on. Let's continue on.
Bro, you've lost your mind.
There are niggas who can be with 10s but settle for a 5, and the 5 still hurt them. I can't believe you're saying this.
Bro, first of all, that's not the way men work.
Hey, shout out to Fantastic. He was terming them 49ers. It's the women who 4s but think they 9s. He's calling them 49ers. So
Well,
women that's 4s still think they 10s. They still operate as high class, high
What
value
well,
women.
and how long have you been married?
18 years.
And was like, when did you meet your wife? High school? Like super young or no?
No, I'm 30. I'm 48. So when I was 31.
Okay, and was she the same age, younger?
She's 3 years older. No, let me say something real
She's
quick.
so she's older.
Notice
So
how-
okay,
I
so
just wanna
she's
make a
with,
point.
like so.
Notice how
but
she's
so-
asking me these questions and I'm answering them. I'm not assuming she's leading me anywhere. I'm just asking her, answering her questions. Notice how
man.
she's doing me though. But I'm
That's
answering her
good.
questions.
Okay,
I know
I'm
you're
not-
I know you're referring to
my
men.
my only point was going to be, obviously there was probably men before you. That's normal. It's not like
Yeah, of
I'm not
course.
just it's not a dig, right? But like, how do you can't really say that, like, it's the odds aren't really in your favor. Like, just because you're married for 18 years doesn't mean you'll make it to 28. I hope you do. But a lot of times guys will like come in with this like as if they know how the future will go, and you really don't.
Well, they're a lot more in your favor if you've been married for 18 years. That's for sure.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
I'm
there's
just
still
not
a lot of
used to
people that
men
cut off at the
complaining
20-year
about
mark. Go
not
ahead.
being able to find a woman. I'm used to men saying, okay, I'm a 5, I'm gonna go get me a 3. The thing is, when I say date on your level, date a woman that would be afraid of losing you. The older
Guys, I got to get out of here. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You guys
the older women,
Master Teacher, let me ask you a question.
The older woman, let me finish this real quick, please. The older women used to tell women, don't marry the man that loves you, that you love, marry the man that loves you. I would say to men, stop looking for women that you want and accept a woman that wants you. There are women out here that would be afraid to upset you if you're on a certain level. You guys are saying that it's almost hopeless for men. If you're a 10 as a man, or if you're an 8 or a 9 as a man, if you get you a 4 or a 5, they gonna listen to you, bruh. They gonna respect you. They want to be with you. Stop fucking with women that don't want to be with you. That's all I'm saying. Can I ask you this? 4 or 5 might not even make sound the advice victimized for a white father to tell his white son that it is difficult for you. It is almost impossible for you today to be a white running back or a white white cornerback. Do you think that would be wrong for him to say that to his child? No, I don't think that would be wrong. Same thing with men. Because of OnlyFans, because of social media, these women who used to accept what position they were are now clouded. Their minds are clouded to who they are and what they are. And then when they gave these bitches the ability to throw on weave, makeup, filters, and BBLs and all kinds of surgeries, literally every woman can be. You look at Christy Nome right now. That bitch looked like a new bitch once she started working for the government. Because if you look at her old picture, she don't look like that. They can make these people into different things, and then they get this feel of so many men want me, like Pearl was talking about. They put up a picture. When they walk down the street, you think a bitch get 1,000 niggas she walked past to give her a thumbs up? No. But when she puts her picture online, 1,000 people do. So that woman's thought process of who she is has changed. Your process of your thought process of who you are is still the same. So if you know you're a 3 and you're looking for 3s, those 3s now think they're 6s. So it is very difficult for that man. So that man is just complaining on the fact that you look at me as what I am, and I accept it. I look at you as what you are, and you keep switching.
But this
In the social media
conversation
world.
is already. First of all, Master T, you're already proposing the conversation in the wrong way. When you're talking about a man being a 3, that's ridiculous because of the simple fact that men are not judged primarily off of their looks. A guy could be a 3 physically, but it becomes massively successful. He can then pull women like he's a 10, or what you would believe the equivalent of a 10 is. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I agree. When I say date on your level, I don't mean, when I say level and I say arbitrary number, I don't mean look wise. I mean, yeah, you can be handsome and broke and that drop you down. You can have good credit.
Let's move on. This is mind torture. If anybody wanted to see the effects of social media, I want you to watch the China Observer and look at the dating and relationship market in China. Once TikTok and all the social media platform entered into the Chinese market with feminism as well, and they had some changes to the marriage law, the Chinese divorce rate went up to like 70%. And that's why you see these videos like collapse of the gold digger economy, men laying flat, refusing to get married in China. Check out what happened in the dating and relationship market in China. Dating events where no men are showing up. Marriage events, no man wants to get married. You can't even get these Chinese men are making videos all the time saying they ain't married, none of these broads. Because what social media did was provided global reach for women. The average basic women that only dated the guys in their community, in their neighborhood, now has international reach. The average woman has international reach. And they're getting all this attention and all this opportunity. Now they're looking at the guy in their neighborhood. And unless he is of a certain status, regardless of whatever value that's set in that community, of what that contextual type alpha in that community is. Okay? Whatever their value is in that community, that's set of what a top dog is in that community, the women are all going to want to have sex with him because of the status that's associated with it. But when you add in social media, you create a whole different dynamic. Because now if there's 20 guys, 30 guys, 50 guys that is coming at a woman, even a fat woman, why would she believe that she's average anymore? Why would she believe she's average anymore? So social media has destroyed the marriage market in China to the point where recently, January, February this year, they had to change the marriage laws where these gold diggers couldn't get men's property, couldn't get their assets. They had to get rid of OnlyFans. China banned OnlyFans. That's the type of debauchery that happened in their society because of this. So we're dealing with a conservative culture that has been affected by social media. The average relationship today has many voices, many distractions for women. You can be a working, honest, hardworking guy, 20 years in a marriage, and your wife may have a feeling or an issue with you one day, right? And then she goes to social media and finds the Derek Jackson of the world. And this dude on there is talking to your woman. You coming home from work 12-hour day, walking in the house, thinking everything is all right. And she hits you with some emotional shit like, whoa, who told you that? Where'd you get that from? She been listening to somebody on TikTok. Maybe she listened to Dr. Cheyenne Bryan. Maybe somebody on the internet told her what she deserves and that you're a loser. And you're thinking, well, what am I doing? And she's talking about, well, I think you need to be more emotionally inept or whatever the hell she's talking. She'll listen to some goofy person on the internet, or she's figuring out, whoa, not all women. So your relationship nowadays, and don't forget, the family structure that was intact to secure, because again, for marriages, it requires a community and a family to support it. It's very difficult. So now they're listening to voices online. You're always under scrutiny in a marriage as a man, because you don't know who the hell is talking to your woman through this device. You think you squared away, you doing everything okay in your household, you taking care of business. But some goofy sprinkle type character, you have a little problem with your wife today, and she didn't watch 20 videos. And now she's waiting for you when you get home. You coming home whistling. Hey, honey, how you doing today? We need to talk. Because some fool has told her some bullshit. That's what's happening now. That's what's creating all the delusion. You go to Derek Jackson, has what? 4-point-something million subscribers on his Facebook page. You see the eighth metaphors. You see all these panda bears and all these simps out here. The panda bear community is big, selling lies and delusion. You got all these most of them, even you go anywhere you go. The Philippines, you got Facebook. You got Instagram, you got all kinds of shit going on. This ain't the same world anymore. Men need to adapt to what's out here in the real world. There's voices, there's distractions. Who is she listening to? 9 times out of 10, it ain't your ass. What goofy internet guru she's listening to today?
And be short. When I say date on your level, I mean date who you know fucking with you.
No, I'm with him on that. He's right. He's judging it.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's saying like wherever you know you are, like Lil Wayne knows where he is. He's not judging himself on how he looks. He knows where he is in life. And I'm with him on that. But see, here's the thing that you didn't acknowledge, that there are men who, that's why I love what David Justice said about Halle Berry. To this day, it's still niggas saying he fumbled the bag. No, he didn't. If what he wanted was a family, beautiful kids, and a woman that liked being married, he won 100%. And yet they're saying because she, in their mind, looks good, that he should be with her. And he was saying, no, even though I know I could have gotten her and stayed with her, she would have been a headache because she thinks more of herself than what she is, which is what every other man that's been with her found out. She thinks more of herself than what she is, and it made them miserable.
And she's paying
but look,
them, right?
I get
two of them.
I get what you're saying, Master Teacher, but fellas, you ain't gotta accept it. If you trying to level up like Goku, you can go Super Saiyan 2, you can go Super Saiyan 3. Don't just settle for what you think you can get if you want more.
Yeah, I gotta do a show.
That's
Thanks
exactly
for
what
having
women
me.
say.
All right, bro. Thank you very much for coming back.
I can't agree with, because men don't just, like, we wouldn't have the world we have right now if men settled. If that was men's mentality, was to settle for what they could just get. You feel what I'm saying? We as men, we don't settle. We strive for more.
We want to conquer.
Yeah,
and that's how you get fucked up. What I'm simply saying,
yeah, but that's how you make great strides. You're missing what Angry Man's point is.
No,
if men had ever been people who settled, yeah, we might have died trying to figure out flight, but now you got 747s.
And what I'm saying is, I get his point, but he's juxtaposing men not settling, going out conquering the world, to settling for a woman. What I'm simply saying is, just peep what I'm saying. And this is what men seem to not understand. Since the beginning of time, top dogs got the women. Maybe motherfuckers ain't top dogs and think they should have a woman that a top dog should have.
Okay, but here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that, brother.
That's exactly what's happening.
hold on. Here's the problem with that, and I got to address this, right? You speaking from a black man's perspective, and we have to acknowledge this. Black men have to stop being the garbage men of the dating world. This is a reality, because the reason why I say that is because that has contributed to the mentality of the women in our culture, whether you like it or not. The fact that we're willing, see, you're sitting here saying accept what you can get, right? Well, guess what? For some dudes, that's a ratchet, always want to argue with the fingernails and the weave and all of the foolishness. That's what they think, that's all they can get. And so because that's what they think, that's all they can get, that has become like the standard for the women in our freaking culture. You get what I'm saying?
And I
this is why this right here. The most men, especially in the black community, are scrapsexuals. And I tell you why they're scrapsexuals. The black community in America is a matriarchal culture. The majority of men in that community have been raised and subjugated to be under the authority. They're raised to be son husbands because 75% are born to single moms. What do single moms do? They program their boys to be their lifetime caretakers because they cannot get along with a man. And not only that, the manipulation within the black community to keep them voting a certain way has been done in a way to give the women power over that community and subjugate the men. And the women control the men. The men vote according to what the women say. I'm not saying the other side is any better. I'm not suggesting that people should be supporting the other side either. But they subjugate the men so much. And we can make an argument that the powers that be want to keep the women in a certain position. And the women, the mothers themselves basically clip their sons' balls. And they create this environment where the men don't become strong enough to be a problem in society, to lead, to take over, to challenge other men of other races and other cultures for jobs and opportunity. But somehow through the assistance of YouTube and the internet, men like Kevin Samuels, men like other men, the men have still succeeded. Most black men in the black community have overcame the oppression in that community that have been put in there by the power structure, utilizing the black woman as their weapon of oppression against their own men. The power structure that be used black women as a weapon of oppression. That's why they're so out here telling lies and beating down the self-esteem of black men. It's a mentality of control. That's why I like Medium Man. So the power structure uses the black woman to beat down the self-esteem of the black man so that he will never rise up and he'll never take control of the community and say, hold on here. You want me to vote for you. It's like the church. See, if you have men like me in the church, we're going to start asking what's happening with the money. And why is Sister so-and-so always visiting the pastor in his private chambers? They don't want men asking questions. They don't want men that are strong black men in the black community. That's why we have so many panda bears, so many simps, so many emasculated, simpish. They have the Boyce Watkins type. Or you have the guy like this guy, the master, he's like another Umar Johnson. Those guys be running through those women. They have like 6, 7 women they sleeping with. I mean, that's what they have in the black community. They have systematically tried to clip the balls of a black man using black women. And that's what the money talks about. That's black women have been the best weapon to control those votes. Because they're going to vote 2 issues. Well, maybe 3. But that's what they do to the black community. So the majority of the men in the black community are scrapsexuals. Look at them. Even when they date outside the black community, what do they go with? You see them riding in the car with some 300-pound white chick. That's what they did to the black men in the black community. They beat down their self-esteem using the women. That's what they do. So let's continue on. Good morning to you, Gail, at night. Always lovely to see the lovely lady. I appreciate you bringing me on the stream yesterday. I just got tired of that brother going. They always got these smoke for the average man. And they always don't tell the truth about what's really going on in that community. I mean, there's been a concerted effort. Look at these, even with the election last year. Look at how they talk to black men. Or if you don't vote for her, you ain't black. Or you ain't black enough. Never with any respect. Never with any dignity. They don't talk to you like a man. The women and the politicians talk to you like, it's like they talk to you like slave owners. Boy, oh, y'all better do this. Oh, you ain't black. Or you better do this because, man, go F yourself. I am my own leader. Nobody speaks for me. But that's how they talk to black men. They talk down to black men. They talk to you like you're not a man. Because they've used your woman to destroy you. And that's the problem with the black community. The women don't know their place. The men have been completely emasculated and simps. Most men are scrapsexuals. That's why the women don't care what they look like. They don't care about their weight. They don't care about their physical appearance. They don't care what you think about how they look because you have no power in that community. They don't care what you think about who they have sex with in their bodies because they've used white liberals, the government, the system to castrate their own men. Black women have used the system to castrate their own men. They don't want you to rise up and be powerful because now they have to listen to you. What they care about is your vote. Will you vote to support the issues that they support? That's all they care about for that. And for some guys, maybe some sperm to make some babies because they can always get the system to be the daddy. You know, they just need sperm donors, to be honest with you. Sperm donors and some crash out dudes every once in a while, you know, to come and fight their battles. But that's pretty much what you get. So these conversations are, see, I appreciate Sister Gail because Gail be calling out a lot of this bullshit too. We have guys, because they're having sex with all these women, which I think is absolutely disgusting. They assume that they're these alphas or they're speed winning and all this other shit. And then they try and virtue signal and pretend like they're doing their, oh, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm having all these women. Really? You just dig deeper than the average man. That's all. That's it. And I said at the beginning, the only difference between a 6'8", 6'7" guy like me and a guy that's 5'4" or 5'5" is that my arm reaches further in the trash can. My arm can reach further in the trash can than the guy that's 5'6". But at the end of the day, we still got our mouth stuffed with trash. How am I winning? I'm 6'7" and I'm eating in the trash can. You're 5'6" and you eating in the trash can too. We're both taking L's. We need to consult and have a meeting. How are we winning? How is any of us winning? Men are some men are just delusional, man. Some dudes are just freaking delusional. Look at the guy. Look at the NBA. Klay Thompson, Meg Thee Stallion. She got a whole dude in jail. Look at the women that Zion Williams and all these other guys are sleeping with. It's trash can dating. Guys are eating all rich, poor, whatever else. We live in a sexually liberated society. This is 2025. We're all scrapsexuals. Look at yourself in the mirror, gentlemen. Accept that you're a scrapsexual. And go take a walk in the park. I just did. Just pick the best burger. That's all. I hate to say it. But it sounds sad, but let's get out of this ego shit and shaming other men. Let's stop shaming other men and disrespecting other men because of a sexual marketplace that we didn't create. Women chose feminism and sexual liberation. Women chose this shit. Sexual liberation and feminism was not our idea. That's their choice. They created the trash can, not us. You know? And that's what we don't neglect to say. So when I hear this guy is talking, it's like talking straight out of his ass and trying to virtue signal like he's living a better life than the average man. No, you're just 6'6", and you can reach further down the trash can than a 5'5" guy. That's all.
Understand what you're saying, but peep this, fam. What I'm simply saying is this: those women that you talk about with the BBLs and the lashes and all that, an average man shouldn't even be looking at them. When I said date on your level, meaning this, she didn't get a BBL to land a 9-to-5 man. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm simply saying is this: with men, what makes this guy right here think he should have this woman? I'm simply saying, as a man, assess yourself. I'm not telling a man to go out and get an ugly chick or a chick with bad credit. I'm saying assess yourself and assess your circles. Holler at the women that like you. That's all I'm simply saying.
Brother, she didn't get the BBL to land no type of man. She got the BBL because she trying to look better than the next chick. She's competing with the other chick. The BBL ain't got nothing to do with her getting a man. What you gotta realize about the women today, and they mentioned it earlier when they was talking about, when Tommy was talking about getting the likes and getting all the attention on social media. For women today, getting a dude in their mind is a given. That's the whole reason why they're walking around with this attitude that's like what's the word for it when you just don't give a shit? When you think that everything is just gonna come
indifferent?
No, it's apathy.
What's up, everybody?
Like they literally have a mentality that
I'm
gonna get a dude regardless, or that you're lucky if you be with them. So it's not about, they're not about that.
I'm glad Angry Man, thank God Angry Man is there. Thank God Tommy is there. Even Fatty tried to bring, women are not getting BBLs for husbands. They're getting BBL for the thirst economy. Attention is the most dangerous drug in the world right now. They get that to compete with other women. They get that to sell thirst. Attention is their drug. The average man that works to 9 to 5 every day, a regular dude, I think BBLs are disgusting. I think a BBL is disgusting. It's nasty. And evidence have been, people have always been complaining that BBL smell. So when I see a woman with a BBL, I think you have some mental illness. Women are equipped with everything they need to get a husband, if they wanted one. But that's just a part of the thirst economy. No man that's got, look, men have what? Our testosterone level goes up to 1,000. A woman just goes to 70. Some thirsty guy will have sex with a woman with a BBL. Or some guy with low self-esteem will get with a woman and marry her with a BBL. But the average regular woman, regular guy, if I see a woman with a BBL, I think BBLs are disgusting. I think they're not hygienic. I think they're nasty. I think you're probably going to smell odors. So if a woman told me she had a BBL, she'd get dismissed automatically. Or if I sensed or looked at a BBL, I'm going to think that woman stinks. That's just me. It's low self-esteem. It's mental illness. And I'm going to walk away from that shit. I won't even entertain that. I don't even, so most average regular men think BBLs are disgusting. The guys that are in these women's DM are just thirsty men that these women would never date in the first place. Thirsty for box. But there's this thing out here called PNC. And sometimes when it's we don't care about BBLs. That's part of the social media thirst economy. In fact, if you're working a real regular job, a guy going to work every day, trying to climb the corporate ladder, trying to get promotions, trying to make money, you ain't trying to walk around with some woman with some stank, disgusting, filthy BBL hanging off of her. Looks unhygienic, looks deformed. And many of these women are broke and destitute. They can't even afford to get a proper surgery done. Got the skinny legs and big butt. The BBL don't even match their body. You think I'm trying to walk around with some woman with a BBL and ruin my reputation? Hell no. He said, they trying to do that shit. They crazy. I'm trying to walk around like that. Hey guys, if you want to support the channel, please do. You can hit the super chat. You can hit the Cash App. We want to keep this content going, free flowing, and who the hell trying to walk around with some chick with some BBL? Not nobody with no successful life. They are rappers, hood dudes, or maybe rappers and hood dudes or whatever. That dude working down at the bank don't want that shit. Like, yo, and I'm glad they made that video about BBL stink. Man. Women don't understand the difference between a guy who is just horny and a guy that really wants to be with them. We don't care about these lashes. We don't care about these fake hair. We don't care about these BBLs. That's for the thirst economy. And, well, they say, well, why do guys give these women attention? Because they're horny. Because they have 1,000. Their testosterone can go to 1,000. Yours just goes to 70. How many times more testosterone they have? Let's divide that. Divided by 70. Just assume a woman's testosterone is all the way up to 70. That's 14 over 14.28 times more testosterone in a man than a woman. So there's dudes that will have sex with women with BBLs because of the overwhelming difference in the men and women. There are dudes that will do that, certain dudes. But for the vast majority of men, I think I can speak for it and say that we find BBLs to be absolutely disgusting. It's nasty, it's unhygienic, and it's for the thirst economy. You don't try to come home to know your house you work hard for to pay for your house and your community and your car and whatever. You walking around with some BBL looking chick. That's a dude with low self-esteem or a dude that don't have much options in life. It just, you know, I'm glad Angry Man clarified this. Exactly. It's repulsive. It's almost as crazy as seeing women my age walking around with these big ass lashes and trying to lead with their sexy. It's disturbing. But anyhow, that's their prerogative. But it's like, yo, nobody trying to be rocking out like that.
Ethereal, go ahead and ask a question, and then I want to say something and fully intervene afterwards. Thank you very, very much for being on the show. Go ahead, Ethereal.
What up, Ed?
Am I saying your name correctly? Ethereal?
I got a question. Do I sound staticky?
I'll fix it for you. Give me just 1 second. Don't do nothing.
I'm just mad at Fatty for not letting me put my link in there, and I made the numbers jump up like this.
How about now?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So what would, so if we had a class of 25, let's just say 25 10-year-olds, and we wanted to teach them how to navigate
this is becoming a circular conversation. This conversation got to the point where it flushed me out of my comfort zone, and I had to get up on this panel because the brother was just talking straight ridiculous crap. But guys, I can't even process any more of this bullshit. Guys, can hit the like button. You know, you got 32 likes. Keep the likes going, guys. We want to, you want to support the content, support independent content. I don't have a lot of commercials on this channel. Hit the Cash App, hit the like button, hit the super chat. I got Red Pill Science came in with the first super chat. Appreciate your support for the channel. And you got him coming again. You got one supporter of the channel. So guys, hit the Cash App or hit the super chat button. Let's get some support for the channel. Keep this kind of content going because we want to have objective content. I totally agree. But you're not going to get that unless you have independent spaces like mine. The problem is nobody supports these types of spaces. You see? Nobody supports these types of spaces. What a lot of people support is the drama. People support the drama. And people support toxic people on the internet that are making content, that invokes emotions in us, but it doesn't really deal with the realities of life and how to become better as men. And my focus is mainly on men's self-esteem. The problem is that when you focus on the virus itself, it doesn't excite people. It's like eating vegetables and salads and healthy meats. Nobody really wants to hear about it. They want to hear about the drama and the debauchery. That's what sells content. That's the crazy reality of it. Let me get that ban out of there. But that's what really sells in the market. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's the way content creation works. But we talk about men's adaptation, and I'm glad you say that. We have to talk about what I talk about is adaptation. Dealing with the current environment as it is, not idealism, not what we wish it would be, not what we wish it to be. What is the reality that we're seeing in front of us? And is any of that reality going to change? And how do we adapt and conquer in this environment? You know, how do we evolve as men? And many times there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. So what I try and focus on those things. That's why you see me, don't bring women on the channel. Because sometimes when you bring women into these spaces, you know, I mean, we have good sisters like Sister Gail and whatever else, but she has really helped a lot. And I appreciate her because she's facilitated a lot. But sometimes you see these panels, when you bring women on some of these panels, I notice that some of the men will behave differently. You know, and then we have these superhero panda bears come flying in and these synths come flying in, and they try to dilute the conversation. They really just, many of these guys that come into these panels are really just for disruption. They want to disrupt the conversation. They don't want to really add any meaningful insight. So that's what we end up with situations. So I tried to remove the women from the environment so that I could just focus on men. Men's mental health, men's self-esteem. Because without that foundation, we're going to keep recycling the same type of gibberish nonsense, and there's not going to be any real progress that are made for the individual. So we got to change the mindsets and the mentality of the young men. We got to operate in the reality that we're living in 2025. And we got to program young men to be more preservative of their own well-being as opposed to being disposable. Yeah, Gail, it's true. Like he said, Gail said, I stay in the chat and avoid getting on these panels, especially in men's space and conversation. I see you supporting. I appreciate it, though, but I mean, your voice is valuable. And even men themselves, sometimes you get in, many times you get into these panels, it turns into a flex of egos as opposed to really getting the point across. I see some good guys in there that are really logical, like Tommy's logical, Angry Man is logical, Cooley for Vegas, Fatty's pretty logical, even Ali. But then you get these individuals that come in there and they really have no desire to have a conversation in good faith. The people that have no desire to have a conversation in good faith. And every time you have a conversation with them, they're crusaders with an agenda. Me, I can be, if somebody challenges my logic with better logic, I can see their point of view and adjust my thinking. But if I'm a crusader, nobody can talk me off of my perspective because my agenda is not about truth. My agenda is I have a personal vendetta, or I don't like something, or I feel a certain way, and I'm pushing an agenda as opposed to somebody who's just like, okay, this is the way things are, and I'm telling the truth. But from a logical perspective, if you hit me with better logic, I'll think about it. You say something to me, I'll think about what you're saying. And if your logic defeats my logic, then I will yield on my perspective. But these people are not looking to have that conversation. They're just crusaders. Many of them are like male feminists, and they're pushing certain feminist agendas or some anti-male or anti-woman agenda that's not based in any type of, objective facts. They're making up false statistics, or they're creating problems because they're so set in their ways, or set in the way they think. And when I see these panels, it's like, but last night I was like, that's enough. Stop rolling the young men under the bus. That's enough. That's enough. You know, they came into the world that we created. And, you know, it was our job to set things up.
The dating world correctly, like a blueprint that will work, like an all-for-one blueprint. What?
There's no such thing. But this is already a point in the conversation. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys joining me today. It's a beautiful Saturday. You guys, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to support the channel, please do. You can support the channel. I'm going to get out of here for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Any questions before I get out of here? Let me open up any questions you guys have. Hey, appreciate your support. Red Pill Science, appreciate your support. Thank you. With that being said, I'm out. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.